The following video contains reenactments of real-life situations by trained professionals. Please do not attempt to recreate or reenact any of the stunts performed in this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
Do you currently suffer from Deltekophobia? Have you or someone you know been a victim of Deltek timekeeper rejection? Well, have no fear. The following instructional video provides a few key guidelines on how to avoid incorrect timesheet submission.
Finally, I'm in. All right, I saw some hours in here. How about some overtime? I deserve it. Yeah, what about some holiday hours? Yeah, I love Thanksgiving. Okay. Oh!
By now, you may have noticed several mistakes Leroy made in the preceding clip while trying to sign his timesheet by the deadline. Now that we have established a baseline for what not to do, let's review a few tips that will help you avoid making the same mistakes. Here is the Deltek Time and Expense login screen. In order to access your timesheet, you must enter your login ID, password, and domain. Your login ID will be your 6-digit employee number. For this exercise, we'll be using an administrator login ID of time. Your default password is your birthday in the format of 4-digit year, 2-digit month, and 2-digit day. You will be prompted to change your default password after your first login. Also, if you forget your password, you may request a password reset from the timekeeping administrator. For all R4 employees, the domain is R4. Click the Login button to enter Deltek Time and Expense. Once you've logged in, you'll see your dashboard. This screen displays any Deltek alerts you may have, such as a leave request approval or a change of timesheet status. In the top left corner of your dashboard, you'll notice a timesheet link and a work schedule link. The work schedule link allows you to submit electronic leave requests to your supervisor. To submit a request, click on the day or days you would like to request off. Then, click the Request Leave button. Then enter start time, end time, number of hours, and submit for approval. Now, let's click on the timesheet link. Here, we'll see a snapshot of your current timesheet. At the top left corner, you'll see a number of commands such as open, save, and leave. Below that, you'll see your name and class. Below your class are a few command prompts to help you edit your timesheet. Near the bottom left corner is your signature block, and near the bottom right corner is the supervisor approval block. In the top right corner, you'll see the current period and timesheet status. In order to view prior timesheets, click the left arrow next to current period display. Finally, in the middle of the screen is where you'll enter your charge code information and hours worked. Upon your initial hire at R4, and for each program change thereafter, the timekeeping administrator will provide a work authorization form with your Deltek charge codes. It is important to store your authorized Deltek charge codes in a safe location for easy reference. This will help ensure you charge your time to the correct accounts and serves as a backup during a timekeeping audit. Now that we reviewed the basic layout of Deltek, we'll walk through timesheet examples of an overhead employee, a CONUS employee, and an OCONUS employee. Example 1. Employee type: indirect, overhead. Regular charge account: 0700-001. Leave: PTO, holiday, sick or personal. Labor category: 1A. Department: 20. In our first scenario, we'll assume that the employee does not charge directly to a contract and therefore is an indirect employee. There are three main account numbers that indirect employees use to charge their time. 0800-001 is used by G&A employees. 0700-001 is used by overhead employees working at an R4 office, and 0600-001 is for an overhead employee working at a government site. All three charge codes can be found under the Accounts column. If you move your cursor over the first open cell in this column, you'll see a set of binoculars appear. Now, if we click the binoculars, a charge lookup menu appears showing available accounts. To select indirect accounts, click the plus next to the indirect labor. By clicking G&A, the 0800-001 charge code becomes available. To go back and view all indirect labor accounts, use the directory at the top of the menu. Now, click on Overhead. Here, you'll see both overhead charge codes. Select code 0700-001 and then add to timesheet. Continuing with this first scenario, let's assume the employee takes PTO, sick time, and that there's a federal holiday during the timesheet period. In order to add the leave to the timesheet, let's click the binoculars in the first open cell under the Accounts column. Now, click on the plus next to Leave. Click once more. In order to add all three leave accounts, check each of the three leave types. Then click Add to Timesheet. Now we have 4 accounts added to our timesheet: overhead, accrued PTO, holiday, and sick and personal time. Now we must verify that the suffix, pay type, labor category, and department are correct. The Deltek suffix allows accounting to group related costs in specific cost pools. The suffix for indirect labor and leave accounts should default to 00, as we see here. The pay type explains whether the hours are regular, overtime, hardship, or danger. Click inside the first cell under the pay type column. Here you will see OS1 for salaried overtime, O1 for hourly overtime, OSD for danger hours, OSH for hardship hours, and R for regular hours. Select R to change pay type to regular for line 1, then click OK. We don't need to change the pay type for leave accounts. They will default to R. Next, we'll verify that our labor category is correct. As stated earlier, our overhead labor category is 1A. Always ensure your labor category matches what was provided to you by the timekeeping administrator. For this first example, we'll need to change our department to 20. All accounts other than PTO will always be 00. Click in the first cell under Department column. Now select the Radio button next to Department 20. Now click OK. Repeat this process for the remaining lines. Now that all charge codes have been added, let's complete the timesheet for the period October 1st through October 15th. In this example, we'll assume the employee works regular hours from October 1st through October 8th by entering 8 hours each workday. Next, we will assume the employee works 4 hours of overtime on October 9th. Please note, for CONUS and OCONUS employees charging to a contract, you will need to add an additional line for all overtime hours. Now we'll add 8 hours to holiday line on October 11th. Let's assume the employee takes 8 hours of PTO time on October 12th and 13th. Lastly, we'll add 8 hours of sick or personal time from October 14th to October 15th. With all of the hours entered for the respective time period, note the totals to the far right and bottom of the timesheet. Please keep in mind that hours worked each day are to be entered and saved in Deltek no later than 10 a.m. the following day. On the last day of the time period, you must not only save your timesheet, but also sign your timesheet by clicking the signature box on the bottom left corner of the timesheet. This concludes the indirect timesheet example. Next, we'll view a CONUS timesheet. Example 2. Employee type: direct, CONUS, regular charge account, 1015-001, leave, PTO, holiday, sick, or personal. Labor category 2B, department 40. Similar to our last example, let's first add the regular charge code. To do this, click the binoculars in the first cell under the account column. Because this is a direct CONUS employee, we have to click the plus sign next to contract. Now, we can add the authorized contract code by searching the first 4 numbers under the second column labeled Charge Branch Code. We are authorized to charge to 1015-001, so we'll select the row labeled C1015. Finally, we'll check the box next to the line that displays our correct labor of 2B. Now add to timesheet. Before we add the leave lines, we'll need to duplicate this line for any overtime hours. To do this, check the box next to the line we just added. Now, click the Copy Line link located above the charge description column. Deltek will then create an identical copy of any line we checked. As before, we will assume this period contains a federal holiday, that the employee takes PTO, sick leave, and works 4 hours of approved overtime. In order to add these 3 additional lines, please click the binoculars under the Account column and then select Leave. Click Leave again. Now click the 3 leave codes and add to timesheet. Now we'll verify information. The program suffix for a direct employee is either 39 for employees at a government facility or 40 for employees at an R4 facility. As before, all leave accounts will default to 00. The pay type will be R for standard work hours. To change this, click the first cell under the pay type column. Now, click the radio button R and hit OK. The line we duplicated, line 2, will remain OS1 to account for overtime hours. Please note, direct overtime must be allowed on contract and pre-approved by your supervisor. Next, you'll want to verify your authorized 2-digit labor category. Take note, the labor category for the program 1015-001 has defaulted to the correct code 2B. However, the labor category is 1A for the leave charge codes. Both are indeed correct. This is due to the fact that leave accounts are preset to indirect labor categories. Do not change your labor category for leave accounts. However, you should always verify your labor category for your regular program charge account. The department should be 40 for all direct employees. Remember, this applies to all accounts other than PTO, which will always be 00. To change the other cells to 40, click the binoculars under Department column. Select the radio button next to 40 and click OK. Your department should be 40 for operations. As before, we'll assume the employee works regular CONUS hours from October 1st through October 8th by entering 8 hours each workday. Next, we will assume the employee works 4 hours of overtime on October 9th. We will enter these hours on the additional line we added with pay type OS1. Now, we'll add 8 hours to holiday line on October 11th, 8 hours of PTO on October 12th and 13th, and 8 hours of sick or personal time from October 14th to October 15th. As with the past examples, if this were an actual timesheet, we would need to sign by 10 a.m. on October 15th. This concludes the CONUS timesheet. Now, we will move on to our final example for an OCONUS employee. Employee type, direct, OCONUS, regular charge account, 1018-007. Leave accounts, PTO, accrued holiday, sick or personal. Labor category, 2A, department, 40. In our final example, we have already added all of the necessary charge accounts to save a little time. For employees with an OCONUS-based location, there will be up to 4 regular charge lines on any given timesheet. 1 for regular time, 1 for overtime, 1 for hardship, and 1 for danger. Please pay close attention to pay type and suffix information for hardship and danger. The pay type for hardship is OSH, and the pay type for danger is OSD. The suffix for both hardship and danger is 52. Prior to October 16, 2010, all leave for OCONUS employees was accrued as PTO. After October 16, 2010, OCONUS employees will have 3 leave accrual accounts to choose from: PTO, sick or personal, and accrued holiday. Please note, these 3 accounts can be taken in any combination for OCONUS leave. The rest of the charge information should be the same as it was for the CONUS example. Now we'll add in the hours. As before, we'll assume the employee works regular OCONUS hours from October 1st through October 8th. This means we'll need to enter 8 hours of regular time on line 1 for any weekdays during this period. Next, we'll enter 4 hours of overtime on weekdays and 12 hours of overtime on the weekends. Now we'll enter 8 hours of hardship and 8 hours of danger. Hardship and danger hours are only allowed on weekdays. Next, we'll add in the leave hours. As stated earlier, we are not required to add the holiday hours against October 11th just because it's a federal holiday. These are accrued hours that can be used on any day while on leave. For this example, we'll enter 8 hours of PTO on October 11th, 8 hours of sick time on October 12th and 13th, and 8 hours of holiday leave on October 14th and 15th. Prior to October 16th, OCONUS employees were not entitled to hardship or danger while on leave. After October 16th, OCONUS employees will be entitled to hardship but not danger while on leave. Let's add in the additional hardship hours from October 11th to October 15th. This concludes our final timesheet example. Here's one last tip that might be helpful if you would like to save yourself some time each pay period and reduce the potential for errors when adding charge codes. You can actually add your default charge codes to your favorites menu so they will auto-populate each period. Do this by checking the boxes next to the lines you want to save to your favorites. Click the Add to Favorites link. Now click the binoculars under Account column. Click Favorites. Now select the lines you just added and hit the Update button. Here are a few important takeaways. Always keep your Deltek information on file. Login ID, employee number, password. Default password is your birthday. 4-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day. Domain, R4. Account number, program number. 2-digit labor category. Suffix code, pay type, department. Timesheet accuracy is critical. Ensure account, suffix, pay type, and department codes are all correct. Deltek changes effective October 16, 2010. OCONUS will now accrue in 3 different leave buckets: PTO, sick, and holiday. OCONUS required to charge hardship on leave, converting to bi-weekly pay cycle. Labor hours directly affect billing and payroll. Therefore, signing promptly by the 10 a.m. deadline each time period is extremely important. After signing, supervisors are to approve by 4 p.m. the same day. Employees should be prepared to make corrections if a supervisor rejects their timesheet. Now that we are equipped with the right tools for Deltek, let's see how this particular timesheet signature day should have played out for Leroy.
It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean, fresh air. No sense in staying inside. If the weather's fine and you got the time, it's your chance to wake up and plan another brand new day. Either way, it's a beautiful morning. Each bird keeps singing his own song. So long, I've got to be on my way now.
Thanks for viewing this training video. Although the training contains some light humor, the importance of timesheet compliance should not be understated. Please continue to be diligent in completing your timesheet accurately and in a timely manner. We'd hate for TE admin to come looking for you.